Welcome, Screen Fiend fans. This is the movie review for Kevin Hart's movie Fatherhood. If you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. Now, before COVID hit, this movie was slated to have a theatrical release. But due to circumstances, Netflix took the film and put it out on their platform, their streaming network. And because of it, a lot of people didn't get a chance, or it wasn't a real rollout. You know, it was kind of weird, but it wasn't a real rollout. It didn't feel like a real rollout. And it was like Kevin Hart's only second serious movie he's ever done. Even though there's a lot of jokes in this movie. Now, I've seen this movie done before, similar to the film Jersey Girl, with Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez. Now, very similar to that film, there were a lot of different tropes that took place. Kevin Hart and his wife are expecting their first child, and they don't really explain what happened, but his wife dies during childbirth. Now, after this death during the childbirth, he's faced to have to raise a baby girl. Now, Rail Holloway, it plays his best friend who tries to comfort him, but he's basically there for comic relief, as he's basically raising this girl on his own when her mother, his mother-in-law, wants to raise the child and take the child with them. But he lives in a different city than where they actually grew up. And it's just going over the, as the years go by, his whole life has been dedicated to, raising his daughter and getting that right and still trying to maintain his job. So it's difficult for him to kind of have a little bit of a life. That's the kind of pain you wouldn't want to enforce on any other human being, but he's going through it. Now, while going through that, he's learning a lot about himself and how he's feeling a little, stressed and strained. And then he gets set up on a fix him up date, and he ends up falling for this girl who's named after his wife, and he's dealing with it because he actually likes the girl. And it's like, okay, when do they try to work the child into this, because at this point, she's a 5-year-old girl dealing with this fact that this new lady is going to be in their life. How's that dynamic's going to work? And the actress that played the 5-year-old girl, she was excellent, had very good chemistry with everybody on the scene. So it's going to be very interesting to see what she do in the future. But she definitely made that work. So I'll give it 3 stars out of 4. I think the only part that didn't land was the parts that shouldn't land. And it was like serious where it's needed to be a little more empathy. There wasn't. There's a little, little gaps in there where it didn't land. But other than that, it's a very good movie. Like, it's entertaining. You'll watch it. And for the most part, Kevin landed his plane. But there was a lot of scenes where he couldn't keep it together. You could see him trying to hold back the laughter. His little rail was just stupidly funny in situations where he didn't need to be. So that's all that was. Now, yeah, I thought it was pretty good. But in other words, to make a long story short, too late for that. But I would recommend everyone watch it on Netflix while it's still up. So, everyone else, see you when you see you. I'm out.